Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. Full panel today. I got my boy Dylan over at Nets Press. I got Pete over at Nets Benched. Pete, I did go and watch your last episode. Really good work on the prospects and stuff. Give yourself a little plug. Give yourself a little commercial. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Thank you, Gary. I did an episode with Tyler Rudker from No Ceilings. We talked about AJ Debanza. Very good episode. Check it out after this if you guys have the time. You can follow me at NetVengino on YouTube and Twitter.
My favorite Nets insider, Pete, over at Nets Fans.
Not an insider.
Appreciate
my
favorite Nets insider. All right, Dylan. It's been a while, man. How's it been going? How you doing?
Well, man. Cannot complain at all. The Nets are losing. We're maintaining position at a top pick. The Indiana Pacers should be abolished from the NBA. It is absolutely pathetic. And also, I know that this is completely off topic, but I knew I was going to get my chance eventually. Cam Thomas stands. Where you at? Because your boy sucks, and I was right.
All right, let's open up. Let me set you up because we talked about this. He came in, he scored the 34th or whatever it was, hit the game-winning three from like 30 feet. Then the next game he had like 27 points in 21 minutes or something like that, and it looked like the Nets had made a serious mistake. But since then, it's been worse than he was with Brooklyn. Honestly, I've been watching every game because I am, unlike Dylan, I'm rooting for him. I want him to do well. I like Cam. I want him to do well. It's been horrible. So go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead and take your victory lap.
Yeah, the guy sucks at basketball, and I've been saying this for over 2.5 years. It's very simple to see. He's a street ball player, and I've said this forever. He's Mr. 1 in every 8. One game he'll have 30. The remaining games he'll shoot below 40% from the field, below 25% from 3, and he'll have under 15 points. He's useless to the game of basketball in terms of a winning aspect, and I've been saying this for 2 years. So I'm glad to just see that I was right. It's very nice. It's always nice to see when I'm right. I don't like to sound condescending or like a dickhead, but it's very rare that I am wrong about something in terms of the Nets and basketball. So to the stands again, once again, you guys have been very quiet. It's very nice to see that the NBA Twitter world is starting to hate on Cam Thomas just as much as I did. And the guy sucks. I hope nothing but him in his future in China next season when he can't get another NBA contract.
He will lead the Chinese Basketball Association. Oh, we lost. I wanted Pete to come back on this. Dang it.
The man has
will lead. He will set every CBA Chinese scoring record. Do we agree on that? He will average 35 a night.
Mike James is a better basketball player than him, and he currently holds majority of the records over in China, I believe. So no, I don't think Cam Thomas is a better basketball player than Mike James.
All right, Pete, I was scared. I thought we lost you. Do you want to respond to the Cam Thomas noise? What are your thoughts on our old friend Cam Thomas?
Yeah, I think, Dylan, you're better than this. The sample size is way too small to be.
I'm not.
It's way too small. He's on a new team. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to work out, but what I'm trying to say is the people that were celebrating after that 30-point game and then after, those big games, I put them in the same box as someone who's celebrating that he's having a bad week. We got to let time fly. We got to let him play a little bit.
Well, he's just had a bad year.
You might be 100% right, but I'm just saying it's a little early to start celebrating. That's all.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily. I'm hating on him based on his horrible week. I'm hating on him based on his horrible year. I mean, what did you say his shooting splits are this season, Gary?
42 with Milwaukee.
26?
With Milwaukee, they're 42-26 for the season, including the 24 games with Brooklyn. It's 40 and 31. So it's 40. We'll call it 41-31, and with Milwaukee, it's 42-26.
So he's incredibly below average in terms of efficiency from the field for a guard. He is incredibly below average in terms of efficiency for 3 throughout the league. I mean, he's just not good. Like, he's averaging, 2.5 assists per game this season? He had 3.1 in Brooklyn and 1.7 so far in Milwaukee. That's awful. He's averaging, north of 13.5 points per game on the season so far. He averaged 15.6 for us, 12.7 for them. I mean, he's just not good at basketball. He's truly not a winning player. Like, cool, go do this on a horrible team. I mean, he's now played for 2 horrible teams in the last 365 days, and he can't even put up more than 16 points a game on a decent efficiencies. It's not like he's getting double teamed every game. The guy's just not good.
Well, he was in Brooklyn, right?
Rarely.
But Pete,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I agree with Pete that he was double teamed at half court a lot. Yeah.
For a certain stretch of the season, I can maybe agree with, but once he came back from injury now,
that could be
when he had sporadic minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're leaving a little context here with that. And listen, I don't want to be the Cam Thomas defender because I don't know if I actually believe in him, but I do have to say that it's a little early. The sample size is still in effect. Small sample size is still in effect. That's all. You might be 100% right, but
I don't know. I keep hearing the sample size thing, but he's been in the league for now, what, 5 years? I think he is what he is. I don't like him. I think that he was shitty to the fans. I think he was shitty to the entire organization of Brooklyn. I think he is greedy. I don't think that he actually gives a shit about basketball. I think he cares about his own stats. And even then, when he cares about his own stats, he can't put up good stats.
Whoa. I got this. You're the biggest LeBron James fan on this panel. Does LeBron James care about his stats?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he wins.
He's having a fit when he.
But he wins. but he wins. He's got 5 rings. He's the greatest player of all time. He's the all-time leading scorer. He's not even a score-first player, and he is a top-tier assist, playmaker. Like, no, we can't compare LeBron James caring about stats to Scam Thomas caring about stats. Big difference.
LeBron James's career usage percentage is identical to Kobe Bryant's. This thing that he's not a score-first guy just isn't true.
Well, usage is based on how often he's also using it. Like, he has the ball in his hands. Yeah, he's a primary facilitator, and he's also usually the number one scorer on every team that he's on. Like, yeah, I mean,
I'm not doing LeBron versus Kobe with you today. I'm not doing it.
When there's a player identical to LeBron, I'll say that he's not number one anymore. But there's too many players similar to Kobe and MJ for me to put them at number one. LeBron is a one-of-a-kind player.
I'm not getting suckered in today, Dylan. I'm not getting suckered in. All right. Pete, I don't want to spend the whole episode on Cam Thomas because I want to spend it on Trey and some positive stuff. But Dylan, you say, okay, it's a brand new team, but it's the same old Cam. Like, it's not like he's accepting another role or he's switching. He's doing the same thing he did in Brooklyn, in Milwaukee, and it's not working, right? Like, wherever you go, well, there you are kind of thing. For Cam Thomas is the way I'm seeing it. It's not like he's adapting to a new system and a new role. He's playing 1-on-5 basketball and putting up terrible shots. It's the same thing he did in Brooklyn. Am I wrong?
No, I was just about to say, I think that's the key to all of this is he going to accept that, you know what, you're not a starter. At least right now, you're not a starter. And at best, you're going to be a sixth man, maybe even worse if you go to another team. Milwaukee luckily gave you a shot. You had a couple good games, but you don't have the consistency to keep it up, at least right now. I still think you got to give him a little leeway. New team, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I guess you would hope that he would eventually get into the role of saying, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be taking as many shots. Maybe I should go into the 6-man role. We don't know where his mental's at, but that's where I would leave it with Cam Thomas. It's up to him right now to adapt.
I would agree with the new team statement if he didn't play the same exact brand of basketball he has his entire career. Like, clearly he's just doing his own thing again. I mean, you've got guys on Twitter now who are like literal, like NBA analysis pages, like all these things where if you watched the game last night, he had, I think it was like 3 or 4 straight minutes where he was the only one with the ball in his hands. Like, there's 4 other players on the court. You're not good enough, efficient-wise, scoring-wise, playmaking-wise, to have the ball in your hands for 3-4 straight minutes. It's just not good. Last
thing, I don't want to like take over the episode with this, but before Giannis came back, would you say that his role on that team would be to score? Like, they had no other scorer. They kind of needed him to be like, ball hog superhero. No?
Yeah, and he still didn't do that well.
Yeah, I agree, Pete, but he wasn't good at it. It's the same thing with the Nets. He's doing it very inefficiently.
I know, but you're knocking the role. But the thing is, that was the role that they gave him to do. Now with Giannis back, that should change. I don't think it's going to change though. But that's I don't want to talk about it all episode, but That's where I lay with CT.
All right. I want to get into something else real quick because I do want to transition this. I'm watching my Longhorns yesterday, and Darius Acuff is the best player Texas has played against all season. He's that good.
I've been trying to tell you guys about him.
If the Nets don't pick in the top 4, how high? And I don't want to spend all day on this. How high would you draft Darius Acuff?
I would
Let's
take
say
him
we
as
don't
high
get-
as 6 if we were to fall to 6.
So who's the 5th guy you take? Who's the next guy after the top 4?
Based on upside, probably Mpj Brown Jr.
Okay.
I think at 6'5" with his upside, you take him over Acuff, though Acuff is having the better collegiate season so far as a freshman. It's tough. I mean, 5 through 7 is a really, 5 through 8 is a really tough range. You've got 3 point guards and a shooting guard. All right, you've got Keaton Wagler at shooting guard. You've got 3 point guards in Acuff, Flemings, and Mpj Brown Jr. To me, if the Nets fall out of the top 5, they're probably taking Flemings just based on fit, based on identity. I think that he fits the mold of what Jordi Fernandez wants. I think he's also a bit of a safer pick than Acuff just due to height issues. There is a lot of speculation on whether or not Acuff's game will translate to the NBA because he's only 6'1", maybe 6'1". So, traditionally in the modern NBA currently, being that undersized at the point guard position is a very big risk. But to me, I still think that he's the most skilled offensively out of the 3 currently. I still think Mpj Brown has the highest upside out of the 3, but I think Flemings is the best two-way guard out of those 3. So it's tough to say. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces that are going to be made, but I definitely think as of right now, if the Nets fall out of the top 5, it's going to be Flemings. Also, not to break news, but DJ Moore to the Bills, that's wild. Wow. Great get for them.
How do you feel about this comment? I'm not trying to say he's better than Jalen Brunson. He's got better vision. He recognizes the double teams immediately. Like he looked like he looked like Chris Paul last night. He could score. If he didn't double him, he was scoring. If he did double him, it was an easy 2 for the open man. It was the vision and the right read and making the right play. He looked like he was a 10-year vet.
Yeah, he's got the build of Stephon Marbury, he's got the swagger of Allen Iverson, and he's got the IQ of Chris Paul. It's a very scary trio that he has built into him. The upside is tremendous, but again, it's just going to come down to, is there a GM out there that's willing to take him at his height in the top 8? Like right now, I usually have him projected between 8 and 11. So is he a top 6 talent in this draft currently? Yes, but will height come into play at the combine, and could that potentially drop him in terms of draft stock a couple of picks? 100%.
I'm seeing that this is potentially true, Nate. Nate likes to spam the chat with fake news sometimes.
It's confirmed. Schefter already
I'm
reported
looking at it right now. This appears to be true.
That is wild.
Pete, any thought? I was hyper impressed with Acuff. With Acuff. Any thoughts on him after the top 4? Is he the next man up? What are your thoughts on him?
I'm still doing my homework on a bunch of these guys, so I'm not gonna feed you guys some BS. But I would definitely agree with Dylan. Mpj Brown Jr. would be the guy for me. And talking about Flemings, there's already been some talk that the Nets are interested in him. Eric Slater had somebody on from No Ceilings. I forgot his name. I hate when I do that.
I think it's
anyway.
I think his last name's Gilmore, if I'm not mistaken.
I did probably something like that. Whatever. I wound up remembering it later on, but there's already some interest there, and I think Dylan's right. Good fit with the Nets. I don't know, man. It's tough with these guys because they're so good that you could rearrange them in almost any order, and you can make an argument. No.
When they do it to you, like I'm watching Acuff, I'm like, my God, this is like Chris Paul, but bigger and stronger. Like this guy's insane. I was texting Dylan during the game, like, yo, this is Acuff is nasty. If we fell out of the top 4, and this is what I want to talk about, right? Because Trey is emerging. Trey seems to be getting better every game, the way you'd want a 19-year-old. I don't know, maybe he might be 20. He seems to be the point guard. And then you put Yeager at the wing. How do I phrase this? Trey's improvement, his development, does he affect the way that you draft? Does he get a say in whether or not you take a point guard? I'll start with you, Dylan.
It's tough to say because again, you want to believe in the guys that you have, but you're also so bad currently in terms of roster construction that you kind of just need to take highest upside and best available. And people won't agree with that. Some people, I'll say, won't agree with that. But at the end of the day, when you are a bottom five roster in basketball, when you have no solidified franchise superstar, you still have to take best available. Um, you know, I had it listed when Nolan came into the league that his ceiling was Andrew Nemhard, and I've reiterated this many times. Um, but now you're starting to see that his ceiling may be much higher than what an Andrew Nemhard could be. People forget that Traore was expected to be a top five pick before, the 2025 draft and before college basketball began. So the upside on him is still there, and he's starting to flash that. But at the end of the day, I don't think that his progression takes away from selecting your potential franchise point guard. And you've got three of those guys on the board between 5 and 8 in this year's draft. So, can Traore play alongside one of those guys, or will one of them be the sixth man? Either way, you kind of have to make it work. You've seen teams like San Antonio draft guard after guard after guard. Same thing with Portland, and they've all been able to make it work. So I don't think that will steer Brooklyn away from selecting a guard if they fall outside of the top five.
Pete, let me get to you the same question. Traore is really taking positive steps. Like I said, he looks better every game. I look forward to watching Nolan Traore every game. Like, that's what I have left of this season, is watching Traore develop. Does he get a say? Do you change the way you draft because you're penciling Traore as your point guard moving forward?
I don't think you look at that at all. And if you have a nice talent at the right draft position, you take the best player available. You make it work. You find out. I'm gonna say this. You let Jordy work it out, right? Like, well, who cares if you wind up getting Traore as a sixth man and you wind up having somebody else ahead of him? Like, you take the best player available. How young is this team? We don't even know if Traore's gonna work out. I think Traore could kind of work into a Spencer Dinwiddie type of role. You could attack that if you want, but at worst comes to worst, you have two starting point guards. No.
You love Dinwiddie. That's high praise from you. You're a Dinwiddie guy. So
yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's high praise. Saying he could turn into Dinwiddie, that's high praise. It's a 19th pick. You take Dinwiddie with 19th pick. That's a good pick, right? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not expecting an all-star at 19, and what is he, 19, 20 years old? It's going to take 2 or 3 years to develop. Why not take a point guard if you're going to draft a Peterson, right? If you're drafting out one and you think Peterson's the best player, you take the best player available. Who cares? Who cares who's in front? If there was someone in Igor's spot that I thought would be better than Igor, I'm taking him and I'm going to bench Igor. I just am. It is what it is. You got to, at this point, you take the best player available, you let Jordy work it out, and you figure it out from there. The Nets took Dinwiddie and D'Lo at the same time, and they made it work. They'll make it work with Nolan and another point guard if you need be.
They made it work. They moved Dinwiddie to the bench. Okay, I guess they made it work. I suppose. Okay.
Wait. Would you have argument of saying, let's say they take Peterson at number 1, right? And then for a closing lineup, if Nolan is one of your best 5 guys, what's stopping you from playing him next to Peterson?
Oh, I think Peterson's more of a 2, regardless. I'm
just saying, you take a point guard with your high draft pick this season, and you put him and Nolan to finish the games if they're the best combination, and you work it out from there. I don't think it's that difficult here.
And then, so hypothetically, let's say we got Peterson, which I think is realistic. Like, that's something we can entertain at this point. So Traore, Peterson, Yegor. Are we good with that as 1, 2, 3? Is that? Are we content with that?
I mean, I may have a hot take here, but I put it out there yesterday, and I think that I am fully sold on the idea of Cam Boozer as of right now being our.
Did you listen to the show when me and Pete did the show? The more and more I watch Cam Boozer, the more and more I like Cam Boozer. You want to talk about Cam Boozer for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, I put it out there yesterday in a little thread on Twitter, and again, people may not agree with me, but you have to also look at how young this roster is and how much it's lacking leadership. If you are somebody who follows Duke basketball like I do, you will see that Cam Boozer as a freshman is the voice of the locker room and leading this team to the best record and the best overall ranked team in the nation currently. He's a winner, right? He's won at every level of basketball that he's been at so far. And I think that you kind of need a guy like that in your locker room to elevate some of the remaining players. And I also think that he's the easiest to build around currently. If you look at his build at 6'9", 250 pounds, he's not as athletic as Paolo Banchero was at Duke, but he's got a higher IQ. He's a better defender. He's a better rebounder. He's a better floor spacer. He's having the best statistical season for a freshman in Duke history. Like, this to me is a guy that if you have the opportunity to select, you take him. He may have the highest floor out of any player in the top 4. His ceiling may not be the highest, but he still has an incredibly high ceiling. So to me, if I'm looking at it in a perspective of how can I get a player who will impact the game of winning and will make the players around him better, I think that as of right now, that's Boozer.
Would you be open to taking him at 1? If we got 1, would you consider taking him at 1?
No, and I've mentioned this, and I've mentioned this numerous times. If the Nets land number 1, and you know Boozer will be there at 3, I would trade back to 3. I would take a little sheet out of the Celtics playbook when they traded back from 1 to 3 to select Tatum. And I think that the haul that you can get for number 1 on top of landing Boozer is something that will be franchise changing. So as of right now, if the Nets were to land number 1, I would preferably like to trade back. I think that if you land any of those players in the top 3 at 3, you're getting your guy. So I think that the reward that you can get for trading back those 2 spots is significant enough to select whoever is available at 3, whether that be Peterson, Benched, or Boozer.
Let me just ask you this question, though. So let's say here's the question. You can build with any of these 3 players. You're starting from scratch, like basically that's all. You have nothing. Who would you take first? You can't trade them. You have to take the player. You have to pick. Yeah. You have to pick. Yeah.
First overall, as of right now, I would take Benched.
Okay.
I think Peterson still has the highest upside, but again, there's a lot of question marks around him surrounding his ethic, his work ethic, his availability. His overall play style so far at Kansas has not been impressive to me. Like, this was a guy who is widely considered to be the next Kobe Bryant, but he can't play make. I shouldn't say that he can't play make. He hasn't shown the ability to play make very well so far. The efficiencies hasn't been consistent enough to where I'm comfortable with taking him at number 1. And again, impact the game of winning. When Kansas has played without Peterson, they've actually looked better. So to me, that's a bit of a worry for me.
Pete, you want to get into this? If you would have had to take one of those 3 players, and you can't trade them, but you have to pick that player and then build with that player. Which of the 3 or 4, I would say, would you take?
I take the Benched.
I think
I think he's closer to 6'10". I think that he has MVP ceiling written all over him. Although I do think Cam Boozer is probably the best fit for the Nets, if I'm being honest. So, if you could trade back like Dylan said, that would be cool. But I don't even know if how much value do you put about moving back from 1 to 3 if you're guaranteed that Boozer's going to be there? And would you make the deal without knowing that he's going to be there, but knowing you would get one of the big 3 either way?
The thing about trading from 1 to 3 is you can do it. You just better get it right? Because if you don't, and you trade the number 1 pick, and that guy becomes a franchise-changing star, your fan base will forever hate you and kill you. Right? So if you're going to do it, I'm not against it. Just make sure you're getting it right? Like the Celtics did. If you get it wrong, your fan base is not going to be happy with you at all.
Like, Dylan, would you trade back without knowing that you're going to get Boozer or Benched and you get stuck with Peterson, but you get Peterson plus maybe like 2 first-round picks from a bad team that maybe they're like both lottery picks, 2 top 10 picks plus the number 3 pick? Would you do that?
100%. I think if you can land Peterson at 3, it's a no doubt in my mind. You take him.
What about you, Gary?
Sorry. Ask the question again. I'm sorry. I got distracted real quick.
It's okay. If you're at 1, where you trade back to 3, not knowing you're going to get Boozer Debanza. You might get Peterson, but you also get 2 lottery picks in the next 2 drafts.
Yeah, because I'm good at 100%. Because this is a winning. Because I love all 3 of those players. So I don't even know how I guess I would take the Benched. I'm not even sure how I rank them. Like I'd be more than happy with any of the 3. So if you're going to give me that player, one of those 3 players, and then 2 more lottery picks, yeah, I'm 100% in on that. 100% in on that. Let me take this real quick. I'm going to switch to Michael Porter Jr. Just talk about Michael Porter Jr.'s getting benched, what that means, and kind of his decline in play over the since post All-Star game. I'll be right back.
I'm actually gonna take over the show now. I want to talk to you, Dylan, about this. What do you think about Jaeger not playing?
I'm okay with it. And I said this at the beginning of the season.
I actually do believe that this is injury related. I don't think this is like him sitting down because he's tired or whatever. I really do believe that maybe he's pushed himself too much. Remember, he had like a tear on the bottom of his foot.
Yeah,
and
fascia.
They let him play Summer League. They let him play all these games. That's a lot for a 20-year-old who's just coming off a college season, not used to going through the trials and tribulations of going through NBA games.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I stated this when the injury got reported. Plantar fascia is not something that is very easy to overcome. It definitely needs an off-season. It potentially needs surgery. Like, you need to really fully recover that injury. Yeah, I 100% believe that it is injury related, and I do believe that if you are Brooklyn, it's smart to sit him for the remainder of the season. People are going to hate it. People are going to bitch about it, but you've seen time and time again players who get drafted to, say, Oklahoma City miss an entire season, and they come back looking great. So to me, it's not a big deal if he misses the remainder of the season. I would rather see him get healthier. I would rather see him have more time to hit the weight room, so this way he can get stronger and work on his overall game. So to me, I think that it's best for him to be shut down for the remainder of the season.
I think he's hit the rookie wall also. Like, his numbers have just collapsed the last, 10, 15 games or so. I do think the injury has something to do with it also. But I just think it's a mix of all those things coming together that I think you're right. I think they really should sit him for the rest of the year. Like, why risk it? What if he, God forbid, he tears his ACL or something? You never know what could happen. It's not worth the risk, especially with someone who's going to be pretty much the face of your franchise.
Well, let me address that, right? So why would you play Michael Porter Jr.? That's the question.
No.
Well, I took over. I did it audible. I was talking about Jaeger. Because I was saying,
Jaeger.
I think that's a real injury. Me and Dylan were saying we think it's a real injury. I don't think they're benching him out of him being quote unquote tired or whatever. I really think it's because of the injury.
Well, I think it's both. I think he's injured, but if they were trying to compete for the playoffs, would he be playing?
I don't think so as of right now.
I hope not
until the playoffs.
No, I'm saying if the Nets were trying to compete this year, if they were trying to win every day, if they were would he be playing then? If you're saying no, he's too injured to play, he can't play regardless, then okay. I feel like it's an abundance of, and I'm not disagreeing with it. And I don't know the severity of the injury, but it seems like it's an abundance of caution thing, which is fine. I wouldn't rush him back either. But you guys think the injury is a little bit more serious than that?
Yeah, I'm surprised he played in summer league. Honestly, like what was it? Plantar fasciitis is like a strain, and the one that Jaeger has is an actual tear. So this is a lot more serious than we don't know how bad it is, right? So I gotta preface this by saying that first. But I'm shocked that they let him play all these games. Played a couple back-to-backs early in the season, all the summer league games. I'm shocked. Remember, before the season started, they said he wasn't even on the court before the summer league games. You guys remember that?
Yeah, no. And I remember asking the question, like, is this going to be an issue? Is this going to be a recurring theme throughout his career? Like, how serious is this? And it seems like this may be a reoccurring theme. Like, it doesn't seem like it's debilitating or crippling, but it does seem like it's going to be nagging throughout his career, unless you can fix this. I mean, does it take surgery to fix
rest.
it?
Right, you rest, and then the body heals by itself. But this is like sort of like a hamstring injury in that if you push it, you come back too early, it will be nagging. But I think the Nets are going to be very cautious. And like Dylan said before, I think that they should rest him for the rest of the year. Why risk? Why risk it? Doesn't make sense to me.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think Dylan would agree too. You would be for resting him, correct, Dylan?
Yes, I am. I'm for sitting him the remainder of the season to make sure that he is healthy for next season.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
I gotta go, guys. Have a good show.
Have a
Later.
good one, man.
All right, later, Pete. All right, real quick, and I'm gonna change topics. Trivia question for you, Dylan. You got 60 seconds. I'll tell you when to start. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Name as many players as you can. I got 12. I'll read you my list. Who played for the Knicks and the Nets. My brother only got 8.
Oh,
you got
God.
60 seconds. At any point in their career, they've played at least one regular season game with both teams. I have a huge advantage over you because I'm 20 years older than you, 15 years older than you, whatever I am. Right, so I have an advantage over you. You're gonna not know some of these
I'll
players.
be lucky if I can name 3 right now with the way that
you can name
my
3
brain
from a
is
Bridges
moving.
trade. You can name 3 from the Bridges trade. Plus,
That's true.
one guy that used to work at Walmart. But ready?
All right,
Go.
So we'll go Tucson, Mikkel, Jason Kidd, Landry Shamet.
That's a good one.
Did Marshawn Brooks ever go and play for New York? No.
Who played with Kid? Kid's lob mate.
Oh, RJ.
No, the other one.
The other
The
one.
big guy. The first pick in the draft.
Oh, Kenyon? Kenyon was a
Kenyon
Nick. I
Martin.
couldn't even have told you that. All right, so what is that, 6 right now?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Got this. You got this. 60
No,
points
I
on
don't.
Christmas.
I don't care about the Knicks that much. That's why I really don't. I don't really follow who goes there after.
Shake Milton.
Yeah, I couldn't even have told you that was an NBA player because of how.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yeah, Bojan went back and forth. All right, so yeah, 8. Yeah, that's probably about where I'd say my knowledge is on Knicks players that have played for us in the past. I mean, like I said, I don't care about other teams enough to follow where they go afterwards, so not too bad.
I'll give you my list real quick, and this is the order that I got. I didn't get Marbury, who's my all-time favorite player. Somehow I forgot Marbury.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Martin, Kenyon Martin, Jason Kidd, Mikal Bridges, Shake Milton, Bojan Bogdanovic, Johnny Newman. You have no idea who that is, right?
Heard the name.
Bernard King, Iman Shumpert, Tosan from Walmart, Shane Larkin, Xavier McDaniel, and Hubert Davis. Those are the 12 I got. When you go through, you got Landry Shamet. I didn't even think of Shamet. That's a good one. All right. That was good. Do you remember? You remember? You're old enough to remember Shane Larkin, right? You remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember.
You know everyone. Xavier McDaniel, X-Man.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm watching the Celtics Hornets game yesterday, and the Celtics have a really young play-by-play guy. He's probably like your age, right?
Okay.
And Brian Scalabrine goes, "Do you know Ben Wallace? Do you know who Ben Wallace is?" And the guy's like, "Do I know Ben Wallace?" Right? And Scalabrine's like, "All right, you're like 15 years old. I don't know who you." All right, that's how, do you know these guys? All right, you know all these guys. All right, cool. All right. Transition. Did you guys talk about Michael Porter Jr. at all? Did you talk about it?
We did not.
That mean? Okay. You went straight to all right. Porter Jr. got bent. His play, and he's a human being. I understand, and this is why I don't like tanking. You can see the interest in him is waning. He's not the same player he was. He was clearly motivated to make his first All-Star game. Do you see a drop off? I mean, obviously there's a drop off in Michael Porter Jr.'s play. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think that we're at the point of the season where everybody knows it's over, and you're kind of just at this point surviving to get through the rest of it. If I was the Nets, I would rest him and Claxton. I think that they both need to be shut down as well as Yegor, and I think you kind of just have to see what you have in the rest of the players for the remainder of the season. You are going up against the greatest tank job in sports history. Like there is, I believe it's the top 4 picks as of right now are on a combined 41 or 42 game losing streak. You know, this is blatant. Maybe not so much on the Nets end because they really haven't rested many players, but it is blatant around the league. And I think that you need to take advantage of the final year of being able to do this because the NBA has already announced that they will be making some changes to tanking to prevent this moving forward, but it's not going to come into effect until next year. So I think you need to take full advantage of this and shut down as many guys as possible and almost lose out for the remainder of the season, in all honesty.
Well, I mean, look, if I would shut down Porter too, but here's where it gets complicated. If I'm Michael Porter Jr., I don't want you to shut me down because we're talking extension at the end of this year, and I want to compile as many stats as I can because we are talking extension. So actually, I don't want to be shut down if I'm Michael Porter Jr.
Well, the extension already got cheaper when he didn't make the All-Star game.
That's true.
So realistically, I don't think there's really much room for him to build on his value. I think his value will be determined as it is, and that's not saying that he's going to be some cheap get back, but is he going to make another $40 million contract like he currently is? Probably not.
Him being taken out, I mean, he's having a rough shooting, and I get it. People are human. He's not accustomed to losing by any means. He's always been on good teams. This is what I hate about tanking, is that you can see the veterans are completely disinterested at this point. I can't blame them, but like we talked about, Claxton looks like he's declining again. Michael Porter Jr. seems like he's not the same player after not making the All-Star game. And this is why I hate tanking, is because it does this to you. This is what it does to you. You see them losing interest, and now it's just like counting the last day of the season is like Christmas, and it's a kid marking down the days on the calendar till Christmas. I mean, do you see that too?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been rough.
And now, like, we did this last year. Now we're doing it again. And at a certain point, that is the culture of your team. That is what we do here. And this is why I believe Washington stays horrible, because this is what Washington does. I don't like tanking because I don't like losing. I don't like losing. And I think losing begets more losing, which begets more losing. Like, I don't know what the opposite of iron sharpens iron is, but it's something like this. It's like, let's address this, because this was the other major topic that I wanted to discuss. Claxton played well in the beginning of the season. I don't know what he is at this point. His contract descends. What is the plan for Claxton? Can we trade him again at this point? Did we miss our opportunity to trade him when he was playing well? What is with Claxton? Because he looks to me again the last couple of weeks, and maybe it's just because the season's over, but he looks like a useless person again, like he looked last year. What are your takes? What's your take on where we stand on Claxton currently?
I would shut him down. I mean, I don't view Claxton as the franchise big. I've said this for
but
a
more
while.
Longer term than just this year, like beyond this year. Is he still tradable? Can we trade him in the offseason?
I mean, I think he's tradable. I still think he nets you back a first, or if you really wanted to go after a star, he's the main package deal framework-wise in terms of contract. Like, you package up Nick Claxton, I hate to say it, but Drake Powell, Noah Clowney. Like, if you make a package out of some of those guys, Terrence Mann as a salary filler, picks, like, you can go out there and get a star. So it just depends on what Brooklyn is looking to do this year.
So you still think he carries some weight? He still has his name still carries some weight. He still has some value in a trade package.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're talking about trading for a superstar, would Michael Porter Jr.'s name be in that too? Or is Michael Porter Jr. solidified as someone that the Nets are going to move forward with?
I
think if you get a guy like
50. Like,
go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's 50-50 right now. I personally want to keep him. But if the Nets don't land that top 4 pick, or they're not in a position to trade for another star, then yes, I could see him getting moved.
Yeah, and the tragedy of it to me is that he's the perfect second option. Like we talked about this earlier in the season. Is he a better second option than Jaylen Brown? I think, at least offensively, I think the answer is yes. Now, Brown gives you more on the other end.
I was going to say, with what Brown's done this season, With what Brown's done this season, I actually can't agree with it anymore. I think
Brown's a better
just
first option.
Much better player.
He's a better. Agreed. I'm agreeing. He's a better player. He's a better first option than Michael Porter Jr. But I could put Michael Porter Jr. in any offense. The way that the quickness that he can get rid of the ball, the way he can play off the ball, he is a fit in any system. Yeah. Jaylen Brown, and he's having a great season. He's having an all NBA season. He's going to get MVP votes, I would imagine. He's having an amazing season. He's a better player than Michael Porter Jr. But is he a better second fiddle? That's the question. When I say, like, what is he? He's a guy that can get to the basket and can score. He's not a playmaker. He's not an above average rebounder. Like, he's not a great Jaylen Brown.
I don't know, man. He's averaging some wild numbers this year. I mean, he's up there in MVP votes. Like right now,
he's a better first option than Michael Porter Jr. That's without a question.
Right now, he's averaging 29.7 rebounds and 5 assists.
He's averaging 7 boards.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
he's had multiple. He's had multiple triple doubles this year.
Yeah. All right. Then perhaps I agree with you. He's a guy that needs the ball. Right, and he's a great player. I'm not saying he's not a better player but if I had to put one guy next to my superstar, who would it be? Jaylen Brown needs the ball. Jaylen Brown's not a great 3-point shooter. Like
that I can agree with. Like I would say I can agree with the fact that Michael Porter Jr. can play off of a superstar much easier than Jaylen Brown can, because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is more like Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, right? It's very like back and forth, while Michael Porter Jr. can spot up in a corner and let his superstar do the work. Like, he'll just get open and create shots when he can. So I agree that he can play better off of a superstar, but overall, who's the better option? Who's been
Jaylen Brown
of an
is the better player for sure.
Yeah.
But that's not really what I'm asking. I mean, you understand my question is who's the better second option? Who's the better player to put next to a superstar, right? You could argue that Jaylen Brown is that superstar, and I would accept that argument, right? Like I can build around Jaylen. And remember, we could have had Jaylen Brown too. Remember that, and we declined it to get Ben Simmons instead later in that season for Durant. Because remember, it was Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and a first-round pick, and we didn't do that. Oh no, we got Bridges. That never mind. We got Bridges and stuff. Never mind. Forget what I said. That wasn't Ben Simmons. That was a Harden trade. Yeah, we got instead of Jaylen Brown, we got Bridges and Cam Johnson. You see what I'm saying though? Like, we could have Jaylen Brown here and have been fine. We could have rebuilt around Jaylen Brown. Instead, we have to go absolute rock bottom, get a bunch of picks, and get a bunch of role players like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. We can't have anything nice, so we just have to have things like Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. Like, it's all right. It's what it is. It's what it is. I want to address Michael Porter Jr. is a third option. Like, if he's your third option, you have the greatest offense in the history of basketball.
No, people will only say he's a third option because he's proven to win as a third option. He's never had the ability to prove himself as a second option, and as a first option so far, he's putting up first option numbers. So I'm not here to debate that. He can easily be a second option for a team like Detroit or Golden State. It doesn't matter. Like, he can
good
do it
teams
here if we get a superstar. So
competitive teams, he'd be a second option.
Yeah, he's a top 35. He's a top 35, top 40 player in basketball. He can easily be a second option.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to address just the current situation. I know that you're feeling good about the tank. The Nets get blown out every day. It's a horrible watch. It's almost unwatchable. Are you having trouble staying awake watching these games, Dylan? Because this 100%.
Is like I'm going to be honest. I haven't really watched a full game in a couple of weeks, so I've got shit going on, doing my own thing. I don't have time to watch my team lose by 30. I'm just here for draft night.
I feel that. I love the Brooklyn Nets, like, but this is almost unwatchable. So you would take this, right? I talked to Pete about this when we did our show on Tuesday. You're fine with this. You think this is ultimately a good thing. You like the direction that the Brooklyn Nets are heading this season.
yes, this is necessary, but at the same time, I also do believe that with how bad this is, you should not pursue a star this offseason. You should pursue your 2027 pick back. I think you need to prolong this another year.
To be how am I getting my 2020? You're talking about the Houston swap, unswapping the swap or reswapping it, however you want to phrase that.
Give Houston back their 2027 pick and throw them the 2029 next pick to go get our pick back. That's how I would do it.
Realistically, do you think that? Okay, I mean, all right, I would do that.
Think about that, right? If you do that and then you trade Mike to Detroit or to Golden State, and you can get 2 first-round picks out of him, you're already making your money back in terms of pick replenishment, right? If you trade Nick Claxton for a first-round pick, you're now adding more picks. So, to me, I think that you've got to do a hard reset. That's if you don't land a top 4 pick. If you land a top 4 pick, then it's different. Then go see if you can grab a Peyton Watson or a Lou Dort in free agency. Go see if you can trade for a Paolo Banchero or a Bam Adebayo in the trade market. Then you're working with some other things. But based on how these young guys have looked and how rough these games have been, I don't see this as you can fix all in one by next season, especially with Indiana likely to be back in the playoff conversation next year, with a team like Charlotte who's taken a massive
Charlotte looks real. We talked about that early in the season. Charlotte wins every night now
for a year and a half, man.
Charlotte's
it's
really
good to see them being good. I mean, you've got Atlanta, who's on the verge of landing a top 6 pick, who will likely be another play-in playoff contender next year. So I think that as of right now, the East is a bit clogged with mediocre to good level teams.
Right.
And there's no need to rush it. As of right now, Detroit's on the top of the East. Boston and New York have another 3 years minimum left. Cleveland has another 2 years minimum. Orlando, depending on what happens with Paolo, they're still going to be in that 5 through 10 range every year. Toronto just added Brandon Ingram. They have Scotty Barnes. They could look to package up quickly Jakob Poeltl, some picks, anything that they have to go out and get somebody. That's another 3-year minimum window for success for them. Philly, again, it all depends on the health of Embiid, but they're currently 6th in the East at the moment. So, Miami, they're always going to be in that play-in playoff picture. Atlanta, play-in playoff picture. Depending on what happens with Giannis next offseason, they could still be a play-in playoff caliber team. So the East is a bit too loaded for me to feel comfortable with going all in. I would give this another full year of quote-unquote rebuild before moving into something different.
This is why I didn't like the tank from the get-go, and I said you should trade for Zion. You should try to do something to get out of hell. Right now, now we're talking about how do we get our pick back from Houston.
New Orleans is 13th in the West with Zion. Does Zion make a difference on this team if you trade Michael Porter Jr. for him? No.
No, I wouldn't trade Michael Porter Jr. for him. I would try to put them together because I think that would be. I don't know how you do that. I don't even know what the asking for Zion is. I don't know what a fair market value for Zion is. I'm not. What I'm saying is we're so you just named all of those kind of middling teams in the East, the Torontos, right? Charlotte. We're so far away from that. We are so far away from that.
And that's kind of why I think you have to prolong it a bit. Again, it really depends on what pick you get this year and then who's available. But, realistically, you can make a play-in team by next season if you get a top 4 pick and you go out and you, let's just say, trade for a Bam Adebayo and you sign both Peyton Watson and Lou Dort. You can make a play-in push, but is that team still good enough to win you a playoff series? Probably not. So it's
definitely not. Yeah, you're not beating.
So at that point, it comes down to if you can get your pick back, I would say go do that rather than doing all the spending and the trading to try and build a play-in team, right? Now, if Houston's go fuck yourself, we're not giving you another pick back. You already screwed us with giving you, your 2026 pick back. We're not taking any deal. All right. That's a different story. Now it's fuck you, Houston. We're going to build a play-in team so this way you can't get, potentially a top 5 pick. So different situations. It really comes down to if Houston's willing to move on from that pick. And I think that they would only because of the fact that there's really no room for them to add a top talent, right? You've got Jabari under contract now for the next 4 years. You've got Sengun as your franchise guy. You've got Amen Thompson who's due a contract extension. You've got KD for at least another year and a half, 2 years. Like, you kind of have to win now if you're them. So to me, you kind of just have to see where their mindset is at with that pick.
The 2027 pick, you'd imagine that the Nets would be, not tanking, trying to win every day because you don't own your pick. The Nets, would probably be somewhere around 10 or 12 would be their pick. And the Rockets would be, I don't know, 25, 26, something in that range. So we're talking about 12 to 15 spots, right? Draft spots. But whether you would think the Nets would be to where you think the Rockets would be.
Wait, repeat that?
So next year, 2026, 2027. So for the 2027 draft, you would think that if the Nets are trying to win and they're not tanking because they don't own that pick, the Nets would probably draft somewhere around 10 to 12, right?
Like 10 to 15, yeah.
10 to 15.
I mean,
and
say if you do ultimately keep Michael Porter Jr. and you add Peyton Watson and you add Lou Dort and you get a top 4 pick, let's just say in that scenario it's let's just say it's Caleb Wilson or Boozer, right? Like, yeah, you've got a really well-rounded team. Michael Porter Jr. is still probably going to be your top scorer that season. Peyton Watson probably number 2, your top 4 pick number 3. You've got Nolan and Yeager who will take second-year leaps, hopefully. You add Lou Dort, who's a great vet and a top 3-and-D guy in the league. Like, yeah, you'll make some noise. You're going to be much better than bottom 3,
right?
But is it enough for me to just want to shoot for a play-in out of pity, or would I rather continue to develop young players, allow them to grow, create our own stars? Like I said, you saw San Antonio do this, you saw Detroit do this, you saw Charlotte now do this, you've seen OKC do this, and they've done it all within 2 or 3 years, right? We're realistically on year 1, if you look at it, because we didn't own our 2024 pick, right? So this was considerably year 1 of a full rebuild. Next year would be year 2, right? So 2027 to me is when you're shooting to be good.
But then you burnt 2 years being stupid. I get it. I get it. What's done is done. I get it.
Necessary needs, right? Like, I think there's a big difference between wasting 2 years and prioritizing 2 years, right? Nobody wants to be bad for 2-3 years, but you also don't want to be mediocre. Mediocre doesn't improve where you're going long term.
Right. You don't want to be the Bulls, the Hornets. You don't want to do that. I get it. Yeah.
So to me, you take one route. You go all in or you stay the course. And if the options aren't available for you to be a top 6 team in the East and truly compete in a playoff series, don't do it. There's no need for that. Play-in is very useless.
No, I mean, in general, Miami went to the finals out of the play-in, but yeah, I feel what you're saying. Like, in general, being a 7 seed does you no good, right? Like, being an 8 seed, a 9 seed does you no good. Even if you get in the playoffs as an 8 seed, you're getting a mollywop in the first round, typically, right? Being mediocre, being 500-ish, like the Hawks or the Bulls every year, what does that? What does it do for? It does nothing. It's not a position anyone wants to be in. Like, no one envies the Bulls. No one envies where the Hawks have been. Like, constantly being a play-in team over the last few years. I don't want to do that. The Nets are just in a tough spot. Like, I don't really have any good answers for the direction of the Nets. Like, the team is poorly constructed. They don't have. They have Michael Porter Jr. and then like 14 question marks. Hopefully Trey. Hopefully Yeager take leaps. Hopefully Drake Powell takes a leap. Hopefully. We're just so far away, and then we don't have a pick next year. And like, okay, can we get our pick back next year? That would be a game changer if we could. And I think, you're potentially right. We have the draft capital in the future to kind of entice Houston to say, okay, like, if we don't trade you your pick back, you're going to try to compete and the pick's not going to be as good. All right, we can figure this out. The question is, how much draft capital would you be willing to give up to get that pick back? Would one first rounder, would the Knicks 2029 pick be enough to get it back?
Well, think about it. We got our 2 picks back and we gave up 3. I think a 2 for 1 makes a lot of sense. So you give Houston's pick back and you give them an unprotected 2029 first from New York. Very valuable pick. So you're betting on the short-term rebuild to then have the long-term success over that next pick. And I think with the capital that you can get back for Michael Porter Jr., for Claxton, that it's worth making a deal like that.
No, for us, yeah. Is that enough for Houston? It might be, right? Because if you're Houston, you probably think you're getting a lottery pick, but it's not going to be that good of a lottery pick. It's not going to be a top 5 pick because the Nets have no reason to tank. Right? They're going to try to win every game, and half the league tanks. So that pick's probably not going to be a top 5 pick. It's probably going to be, like we said, somewhere between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
So I have to factor that in as well. It's a tough spot. I don't envy the spot that the Nets are in right now. I mean, they really don't have much.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not fun.
And shout out to you on Ken Knippel. Is he going to win Rookie of the Year?
If Flag doesn't come back, yeah.
Awesome job on that. I was so against taking him, and now he may end up winning Rookie of the Year. Edgecombe would have a say in that too, right? Would you give it to Knippel over Edgecombe? Probably, right?
Oh, easily.
Okay. I mean, Edgecombe's having a good season.
Easily.
Okay.
Not even close.
All right.
You break the rookie 3-point record. You took a Charlotte Hornets team that hasn't made a playoff or play-in in years to now being almost solidified in that spot. I mean, they have a 5-game advantage over Milwaukee, who's currently at 11. Like, Charlotte is pretty much guaranteed now to be a top 9 team. So
yeah,
I 100% think that they're in a good position. So yeah, for me right now, Khan is the Rookie of the Year. Bearing a Cooper Flag comeback, but you take a team from poverty into the play-in and you break a couple of records.
And he's a big reason why. Like, he's not just on the
100%.
bench, right? Like, he's a reason why the Charlotte's playing so well this year.
Realistically, I would say he's, as of right now, the second option. Like, I think Brandon Miller's the first, Khan is second, and LaMelo is third in terms of scoring. So, yeah. and especially consistency-wise, Khan has probably been the best.
He's been really good. I was not expecting this. He's really good. All right, Dylan.
Now Leaf likes Khan. Look at that. I thought you hate the Duke guys. What happened? I thought Khan sucked. Come on, Leaf.
All right. You got anything else, or do you want to wrap?
No, man. I think we're good.
All right. What's your schedule? Did you move yet? What's your plan? I know you're busy. What do you got going on?
I'm gonna be busy for the remainder of the week. Okay. Probably look to come back sometime mid next week.
All right. So like a week from now ish.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, Dylan. You want to plug? You just did your most recent mock draft. You got that coming out.
It'll be coming out here shortly. In the midst of typing up the rest of it. Second round is done. First round needs to be typed up, but a couple of trades, major trades. One really big one that I think will surprise some people. But I do have a Nets trade in there, so you will see that as well. Feel free to follow me over at Substack at NetsPress, and then also on Instagram at NetsPress.
All right, appreciate you, Dylan. It's March 5th, 2026, from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.